Welcome back to a new podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The king is back. The king of the podcast universe. Fuck Joe Rogan. I'm just kidding. I sounded a little bit like Colby Covington last night, just talking mad shit. It's good to be back, and that's about all I can say. I was stuck on a shift where I couldn't record for 2 weeks, so now we're back. SEC football's right around the corner. A lot of exciting stuff going on. So let's get right into the podcast. Hutto, take it from here. Let's see what your first topic of choice is.
What's going on, folks? First of all, glad to have Tate back. We also have a new interim member of the team, Zach Allen. Young Zach, we've been friends for a long time. Good guy. Will died of ligma, so we had to replace him. But anyway, we're not going to let Will's death slow us down. All right,
Jesus.
guys, let's go ahead and talk some SEC football that's coming up this weekend.
I'm excited. I think we should just talk about college football in general.
Yeah.
What we've seen so far, there's been a few good games. I think week one, if you watch the podcast, you know I like to gamble a little bit, and I'm trying to give y'all some picks and make y'all some money. I don't know if you fuckers are taking my advice, but you should. Week one, my pick of the week was Georgia Tech and the points. Guess what? Georgia Tech won the game outright. So get Florida State. You're garbage. Your program's on the way fucking down. What you need to do right now, and I want y'all to look me in my eye when I say this, just fucking burn the school down and try to start over, dude. You're fucked. Your program is set back at least 5 more years.
Just like close the stadium and turn it into like a soccer.
Well, it's gotten so bad that their coach is now faking COVID to duck the fade from Miami. They play Miami this weekend. Miami looks good, man. They look a lot more polished than they did last year.
I saw a catch one of them made. It was, pretty tight receivers this year.
Well, they got the transfer from Houston. De'Aaron King's their starter. He's obviously a dynamic playmaker. Nobody's going to, deny that. But he was struggling to throw the ball in the first game of the year a little bit. He improved, I'd say. He improved. He started slicing up Louisville last night. Louisville's defense is not good. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, but they made the plays they needed to. I knew that game, I didn't want to bet on that game because the spread was close and we don't know a whole lot about those teams yet, so that's not a game I'm interested in betting on. But shout out to Miami. It looks like they might be the second or third best team in the ACC right now. No, it's not going to be hard. Florida State may be like the 5th or 6th, though. They're fucking bad, dude.
I really think the only thing that's going to come out of the SEC is Clemson. If Miami keeps looking good, and isn't Notre Dame playing in the
Yeah.
ACC this year?
They're not. I mean, they're technically not in the ACC. They're playing the all ACC schedule this year.
Well, when you're
So,
looking conference-wise,
yeah.
very
Technically, they are this year. Yeah.
Which I think now that just exposes that they need to be in a conference now. And this season will be a real interesting thing to see with Notre Dame because Notre Dame always does their own thing. They never have to play a conference championship, and they end up sliding away, sneaking right into the playoffs.
That's a team that week one looked rough too against Duke. They struggled. But, I mean, they pulled it out. They looked a little better this week against South Florida, but it is what it is. So my pick of the week one, hit, no doubt. Josh recorded a solo cast last week that we decided not to air. Sorry.
It was so awkward. Like, now, if, I run out of something to say or there needs to be, a pause or something,
I got you.
somebody there to back you up and hey, put their input in. But I tried to I think I got 45 minutes and decided, we're going to have to work on this. Because it's something you definitely have to practice at. Number one, we kind of just, on this one, we have a little bit of notes what we're going to talk about. But when you can have a conversation with somebody and just roll off, that's fine. When you do a solo podcast, you need point by point, because if you don't see and look at what you're doing ahead, then it's impossible to keep a thought train going.
Right.
You're just talking to yourself.
Absolutely. So we did record last week. So Josh, I gave you my pick of the week last week. Can you please tell me what it was? Pull up the text. You see it on camera. He's pulling up the text right now. Read it word for word what I text you.
So, Tate said, Tate pick of the week, UFC versus Georgia Tech.
UCF.
Or, yeah,
UCF.
UCF versus Georgia Tech. UCF favored by 7.5. My pick is UCF to cover.
And cover they fucking did. I think it was like 49-28 or some shit. I mean, they blew them out. So, Tate hits again. Surprise, surprise. There's no surprise, guys. Come on. If you want to bet with me, shoot me a DM. I'll send you a little parlay. I'm going to start betting this weekend. I haven't been really watching or betting. SEC football starting. I'm betting this weekend. So, but stay tuned for that in the next podcast. We'll have a little betting segment. And we're going to make picks and stuff like that as well. All right. Week 1, who y'all got? Y'all got Arkansas, right? Yeah. Arkansas. That should be an easy dub.
It should be. I've been looking at some clips from practice. We're looking pretty good.
With DeJuan Mathis has been named the starter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fairly sure.
So I'm trying to figure out what's up. And I'm big on Georgia this year. I think Georgia's going to have a fantastic year. Their defense is really good. We all know the saying defense wins championships. The defense is going to be elite. Offense, there's some question marks. You got a new OC, Monken. He's been fantastic everywhere he's been though. I mean, I wouldn't be that worried about it, but it is year 1, implementing a new offense and a new quarterback that hasn't gotten any live snaps. What is it with these websites like 247 Sports? I'm going to be honest with you, dude. No offense to Georgia because it has nothing to do with Georgia fans or anything. But these dudes ride Georgia's dick. I'm sorry. Every time Georgia gets a recruit or Georgia offers somebody, they shoot up the 247 rankings. A recruit in general. If Florida offers somebody or they commit to Florida, his rankings go down. Why? What the fuck? Anyway, that's besides the point. Did you see where every time there was a rumor Georgia had named a starter, they shot to the top of the draft board or the Heisman list? Is that not ironic? Jamie Newman, when everybody thought he was going to be the starter. Oh, he's top 5 Heisman candidate this year. Oh, he's definitely going to be a first-round draft pick. He's sitting out. JT Daniels, who hadn't played a snap since like fucking week 2 of last year, and he's taken very limited snaps at USC. Oh, he's got a first-round draft grade now. Based off what? What the fuck are y'all basing this shit off of? He can't even really practice. What are you?
It's kind of like, I think the situation they do is obviously they make all these predictions before season starts. So I think they just do it based on environment or based on, but I mean, it's just like polling an election before it happened, like years before it happened. I mean, they've been doing polls on this election coming up for 8 months, 9 months, and they'll be like, cool. Joe Biden or Donald Trump is 7 points ahead in the poll. I've never been polled. Like, I don't know who they poll and how they get their numbers or how many people they poll. But it just doesn't seem, so I think it's kind of a situation like that where they just get.
Yeah, but is it ironic that every time Georgia names a starting quarterback, he's either a first-round draft pick or a Heisman candidate?
If it was
Trask I'll put it this way. Jamie Newman, in my opinion, is a good quarterback. He's a good player, but has proven not very much. Would it be better to go with somebody that's proven, like last year, just for instance? Not saying Kyle Trask is Heisman candidate. I don't think anybody thinks that because he's going to be splitting a lot of snaps with Emory Jones this year from what I'm hearing. Kyle Trask had a great year last year. Of course, he made some mistakes. He looked pretty bad against Georgia. But Georgia made a lot of offenses look bad last year. They got a good defense. Would it be safer to put him in the Heisman race or Jamie Newman? I mean, where are they getting this shit from, bro? That's just I don't know. I guess if they hit that prediction, they look like geniuses, and I don't know.
And that's probably some kind of thing. You know, they get together, they try to pull.
Well, I think Florida State's got a lot of pulling 247 too. These motherfuckers have been. I don't know, dude.
And it'd be different if it wasn't quarterback because I mean, UGA has had some decent quarterbacks, but we're not a quarterback university. We're a running back university. We are running back U. So it make more sense
I'd have to agree. I'm not gonna lie. I can't think of another school that's produced the.
It would make more sense if they said, okay, this guy's coming out of high school. He's going to be a freshman or he's going to be a sophomore. He has a shot at winning the Heisman, or he has a shot at excuse me. It would make more sense that they talk about a running back. You know what I'm saying? Because Georgia does produce running backs by the
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
So it would make more sense to me if they did come out and say, okay, this guy is a running back, he's going to Georgia. We think because Georgia has produced such good running backs in the past 10 years that he might be a candidate for the Heisman. It would make more sense then. But when you go to say, okay, this guy who's transferred, he's going to be a senior this year, and he's going to a college that is a running back college, and he's a quarterback. It doesn't make as much sense. You know, I mean,
I just found the only thing, I mean, if he does win the Heisman or does get drafted in the first round, that's fine. I just find it, and I think both the players are great players. I think JT Daniels is going to be fantastic in Monken's offense. I thought Jamie Newman probably would have been just as good, but I just find it ironic. I don't know why. Anyway, I feel like some of these sports sites, especially 247, dick ride programs a lot. They dick ride Alabama. They dick ride Georgia, which Georgia's got a great program, so I understand why.
Did you see what Georgia's put on their jerseys?
I love it.
You love it?
What? Their new jerseys are fucking badass. Nobody can look at me, guys. Florida fans, look at me. Stop fucking hating and saying it's commemorating their last national championship. Who gives a fuck?
Well, dude, here's my I've been let down so many times. Boys and girls out there in the podcast world that are Georgia fans, you know these letdowns. My whole 25 years on this earth of being a Georgia fan, letdown after letdown after letdown. And y'all know my opinion. And I love my dogs, dude. But we're going to commemorate 40-year national championship and we've not won one since? Come on, dude.
Okay, it made it easy for people to troll Georgia.
Yeah, exactly.
But the look of the jerseys are absolutely fucking fantastic, dude. The white and red, them bitches eat, bro. I'm sorry.
I'm a huge fan of blackout jerseys, dude. They make me a wreck.
I'm sorry. Everybody else, I know I saw a lot of Florida fans. I follow a bunch of Florida fans on Twitter. They were fucking dogging Georgia for their jerseys. I'm sitting there quiet in the background. I don't want to say too much. Them jerseys look fucking fantastic to me, dude. Them bitches eat. And then we're playing Ole Miss. Ole Miss is wearing all powder blue. Them bitches eat too, bro. But unfortunately, I think the Ole Miss game scared me a little bit. First game of the season. Lane Kiffin is a coach. He's a ballsy little fucker. Likes to stop at nothing to try to win, which is what you want in a coach. He's going to do good things at Ole Miss, I think. But they've been hit by the COVID and injury bug. I think they've got like 30 players that aren't playing the opener because of either COVID or injuries. So I really feel like we should dominate that game. They're actually cross-training the offensive line to play defensive line and the defensive line to play offensive line. So they're going to have people playing both ways. I like us. I hate that we're having to say that because of those circumstances, but I think we would have beat Ole Miss anyway, especially since John Rice Plumlee had a great year last year. I'm trying to understand why he looked so bad in fall camp. Why is he looking so bad? I don't know. But they said Matt Corral's outperforming him. Matt Corral, former Gator commit, he's got a cannon for an arm, but I think John Rice Plumlee brings so much more dynamics to the table at quarterback. With his legs, he's fucking can fly. He ran for like 200-something yards against LSU last year. Carved him up. Of course he lost. That's because his defense looked like a fucking block of Swiss cheese after the game. Burrow had a fucking career day, but he brings that extra dynamic, and I was really nervous if he was going to be the starter, but it looks like Corral's going to start. He's got a cannon, but I like us. I really do. And I like Georgia to win, of course, but we'll get into our picks later on in the week. I watch every UFC. So.
What did you think about the Cowboy draw?
I think I knew it was either going to be a draw or Cowboy won. I think Cowboy won the second two rounds, round 2 and 3. I think Nico won pretty handily the first round, and then Cowboy. That's how Cowboys always start slow, though. He really does.
Do you think the eye poke affected Nico's? I mean, because he got a point
Yeah. Nico would have.
I mean,
If Nico hadn't got.
he wouldn't have had that eye poke.
Yeah, he would have.
But also at the same time, you got to think
It could have.
it could have affected
Cowboy, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it did, but
Yeah, I took that when I'm saying Cowboy won the fight. I think the eye poke. I was considering the point for that. So
I definitely think the last 2 rounds Cowboy controlled fairly well. And
round 2 is the round that may have been a draw, especially with the eye poke. I think that was the round with the eye poke, right?
The big question around Cowboy was, is he getting too old? Is he doing?
Even
Not a bad fighter.
no, he's a great fighter.
I think that Cowboy still has a couple of fights in him. Now, do I think he has the fights where he can go and beat Nate Diaz or go and beat Conor McGregor?
I think he can beat Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna go on a rant right here. Nate Diaz is a fucking tough guy. Don't get me wrong, but when you look at his record, he is not that good of a fucking fighter. He's good at getting the shit beat out of him and not getting knocked out. And the other fighter gets tired of shit, then he beats him up. Yes, he's great at that. Fantastic at taking punches. He's a fucking human puncher bag. I do admire Nate's personality. He's a fucking funny motherfucker, and he is tough, dude. But if you just watch him fight, he doesn't impress me at all as a fighter. He really doesn't. I think his brother is way better. I think Nick's way better.
If Cowboy and Nate fought, it'd actually probably be a really good fight because.
Yeah, they're both. They have the same fight style.
Cowboy starts slow. Nate kind of starts slow. He eats them punches sometimes.
No, he eats them punches all the time. That fucker, and he's tough. I think he likes getting hit, dude. And he's one of those guys that starts off slow as well, just like Cowboy.
You're looking at the fourth. If it was a main card fight, you're looking at the 4th round, and I mean they're absolutely beating it. I mean,
oh yeah,
they're slinging.
I'd definitely watch that fight for sure. That'd be a good one. But I think they're close to closing the deal with Masvidal in the rematch.
That's what I saw. I think I heard that last.
So, and then I think Usman's supposed to fight somebody for the title. I can't remember who it is. Who is it? I can't remember. But I think Covington, I don't know what happens with him next. I don't think he gets a title shot right away, of course. But he did look good, which Woodley looked. I don't know if Woodley looked that bad or he just looked that good. That's how he looks. Yeah, it's fucking insane, dude.
And I honestly think,
I think Tyron quit.
Tyron did not. He didn't come into that fight an excellent fight. He's on his way out in the first place. And
But with that much shit talking going on, I know Tyron wanted to win that fight.
and that's what they hate each other.
Yeah.
Like they legitimately do not like each other. And at the end of the fight, in the post-fight interview, well, not the initial post-fight, but after everything.
Yeah.
They were talking to him, and one of the reporters asked him. They were like, "So Kobe, does this settle y'all's beef? Like, are y'all gonna be good?" And he was like, "I can't be friends with a guy like that." He said, "Everything I stand for, he stands against." And he's like, "Fuck that guy." So it's definitely that beef's still there, but I honestly don't see any more. I don't see a really good direction going in Woodley's career. Like I just don't.
It's time to talk about hanging up the gloves. He's 37 or 38, some shit like that. He's past his fight prime. In his fight prime, he was one of the baddest dudes on the planet, and you got to respect that. I don't like him that much. Yeah, the last 15 rounds straight, he has been dominated by everybody.
He was just absolutely. Kobe controlled him. I don't think there was one time in that fight where Kobe felt like he was in a bad situation.
He wasn't. He dominated all 5 rounds until the finish. And I think I could see Tyron in the corner mentally breaking. I was like, dude, he's quitting. Because in the second, third round, it did get a little boring. Because, and I'll tell you why I think that is. Kobe would, obviously you don't want to stand and trade with Tyron. Every time you stand and trade, you're running that risk of getting caught with that big right, and that's all. It doesn't matter who you are. That one right from Woodley can knock your lights out. So he's fighting smart. He's picking his shots. He did stand and bang. There was a lot of punches thrown. In the second, third round, he struggled to take Tyron down. Tyron is a great wrestler. Had good takedown defense in the second, third round. So a lot of those rounds, they were stuck up against the fence. But you saw once he got him on the ground, he goes to work, dude. He doesn't just.
And there's his elbow. He was throwing really, really good elbows.
Slice that fucking eye. Once he started bleeding, I could see Tyron start to break.
He looked,
And that's
new camp this fight. Like this is his.
who you talking about, Colby? Yeah.
He started a new camp. He looked really good. He went.
I mean,
come out saying this is Kobe 2.0. This is not.
He looks good every time he fights. To me, he pushes an amazing pace. He's got great cardio, great wrestling. I mean, the only person that I've seen him fight since I started watching UFC that I could even give the slightest edge to would be Usman, because Usman fights in a similar style, likes to wrestle. He's strong, and he likes to control the fight, and he's got pretty good cardio. So that's an interesting matchup. I'm sorry, I love Jorge Masvidal. I think he'd pretty much have his way with Masvidal. You seen what happened in the Usman fight. Usman and as much as they hate each other, are very similar fight styles. But so we'll see what's next for Covington. We'll see.
It was a good fight.
What about that? What's that fucking dude's name that has fought like 5 times this year already and knocked that dude out in 17 seconds? What? Fucking look up. I'm gonna look it up. What is this motherfucker's name? This dude came out of nowhere, and he's fitting to probably be fighting somebody in the top 10, dude. He's fucking a monster. Hold on, I got you right here. Let me see if I can. I probably won't be able to pronounce it because I think he's Russian.
It was 17 seconds that he smoked him.
Yeah, he's a 170 here. He should be ranked. He may not be ranked, actually.
It was 17 seconds that he smoked him. And
dude, he's a bad dude. He fought 2 times in 10 days recently during the first few UFCs they did during the quarantine and the social distancing.
He came out and just one.
I'm sure we'll be able to, yeah, because my
junk talking about like his opponent was talking about he's gonna destroy his wrestling and he's a terrible striker.
Well, he's known for his wrestling. Yeah. I've seen him fight 3 times so far this year. He's known for his wrestling, and he's been wanting to show off his striking, but if you're dominating the match wrestling, why would you start striking? So he comes out here, catches him on the right, knocks him out cold. And Gerald Mearskar, or whatever his fucking name is, isn't no slouch either. I watched him fight 1 time already this year, and he won.
Dude, I wasn't expecting it. When I saw that, and he absolutely
So, I don't know how many times this fucker's fought this year. I could probably pull it up right here. Hold on, give me just a second. Fuck. Here it is right here. I got it. Let me pull up a share dog and I'll tell you exactly how many times he's fought this year. And he's going to fight again by the end of the year. He wants to fight Damian Maia. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard last night. All right.
That was one that I really didn't know about the fighters much. But when he came out,
okay, he's only fought 3 times this year. But he fought 3 times in 2 months. He fought July 15th, July 25th, and now September 19th. And he can turn right around and fight again quick. He could probably fought again that night. But he's from Sweden, actually. This motherfucker's bad, dude. Only 26 years old. Yeah.
Dude, with knockout power like that, and that's not even your primary weapon.
He's good all around.
That's ridiculous. I'm excited for next weekend.
Fuck, dude.
Number one, we have.
You got 2 title fights.
We got football.
Oh, I thought you were okay. Yeah, for sure.
Number 2, we get to watch Stylebender fight, and it's gonna be a pretty good one. I think it's gonna be good.
Who are you rolling with in that fight? Just curious.
It's gonna be tough for Stylebender because from what I've seen, their fighting styles are different. So
very.
It's gonna be a tough one, but honestly, I don't see him beating him. I just don't.
Who you got?
Stylebender.
I got Costa, buddy. Costa's looks like he's a fucking Greek god.
Dude, he looks like a freaking pit bull.
And he just comes in there. Now, I will say this. I'm a big fan of technique usually. And Adesanya's one of the most technical fighters in on the roster. So I like that about him. But I just think how he stands back and just uses his range and hits people usually with the kicks, keeps his range, finds his range. is able to dominate on the feet. I don't think that's going to happen with Costa. I think Costa's coming right the fuck at you right now and going to try to knock your head off.
Well, and he might, but the dangerous thing with Stylebender is you come out there and his reach is so far.
Yeah.
And he's so technical, and within half of the first round, he's going to have his range dialed in. Like, he's going to figure it out fairly quickly.
I wonder if he's going to, you know what he did with Yoel Romero? Somebody that can knock your block off. They stayed at distance, respected the power. That's what I'm telling you is not going to happen in this fight. Costa's not going to allow that shit. How Romero just sat back and kind of allowed Stylebender to chill, that's not happening. He's coming at this motherfucker. I promise you there's going to be fireworks in this bitch.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be a good fight. And I don't know if it's just because I'm a big fan of Stylebender.
I love Stylebender. Stylebender's probably my second or third favorite fighter in the game.
Like, dude, I just like watching him fight. His style, the way that he talks crap on Twitter all the time. He's one of my favorites because he's entertaining.
Hey, have you seen, changing the gears a little bit, have you seen fucking Logan Paul supposed to be fighting Floyd Mayweather?
I saw that. And I saw
What the fuck is going on with that?
Okay.
It's going to be a money fight, I mean, obviously.
Here's the deal. Anything Logan Paul puts his hands on makes money. Anything that Floyd Mayweather puts his hands on makes money. This is going to be a money fight like we've never seen. It might even be up there with the same amount of money that
McGregor Mayweather.
made whenever him and Floyd fought.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously.
I don't see a bad. The only person who I think that this could go bad for
It's Floyd. Yeah, for sure.
If he slips around, I mean, the dude's like, what is he, like 50 now?
Yeah, he's up there.
If he messes around and screws up, do not. All right, Logan Paul might have got beat up by KSI, but it was only by a couple points, and those were questionable. Logan Paul, don't slump on him. He has a legit camp. He fights in a legit camp. He takes it seriously. It's not like he's just going and, okay, let me go get in the ring for about 10 seconds. He's got a legit camp.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it doesn't matter if he loses. If he loses, nobody's going to talk shit and be like, oh,
He's 100% losing, bro. He's not beating Mayweather, dude.
okay, this is a hypothetical. If he loses, nobody's going to say, oh, you lost to Floyd Mayweather. Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's a win-win for Logan Paul.
He's probably the best boxer of all time. And
That's debatable, too, but yeah, he's.
well, yeah, I mean, it's debatable. But his record.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's never been beat. And early in his career, he would get into slugfests with people, and he was knocking people the fuck out.
Logan,
But now he's more of a technical, don't get hit.
loses. He's making money.
Oh, yeah.
This is a win-win for Logan. I don't see any problem with him doing this. If somebody called you right now and was like, hey, bet you won't get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather for $100 million. Are you going?
Yeah, I'm on the way. 100% I'm on the way.
I wouldn't even get in a car. I'd just run there.
Yeah, I'm on.
Just like, dude, put the beater. I gotta make this weight. Put the beaters on and just freaking fly. I might have to stop 400 or 500 times before I get there. But let me assure you,
Logan Paul's much bigger than Floyd Mayweather, too.
and he's a big dude. And dude, I used to be one of these people too. People used to shit on Logan Paul all the time. He is a legit entertainer now. Like he is.
Yeah, his podcast is fantastic.
I think that after
Dude, he got 6ix9ine on that bitch. That's my favorite podcast maybe I've ever seen.
Good. It was like
6ix9ine's a genius, bro.
Okay,
A guru.
I called you after this. I called you after I listened to that podcast and was like, you gotta listen to it. And you said I already listened to it. The man's not as stupid as he seems. Cause like I was like, this guy's. I had no intellectual respect for 6ix9ine because I thought he was a moron. But it really.
That's what made me a 6ix9ine fan. Listen to him talk off record.
It's off,
Not
off the rap camera where he is not like having to put on that facade for the rap game.
Well, I don't think. See, here's the thing about 6ix9ine. I don't think it was a facade at first, maybe, and then he got affiliated with the Trey Nine Bloods, and he was really out there banging, dude. So I think what he was rapping about, like he said in the Logan Paul podcast interview, he was rapping about. He was out there fucking banging that shit, yo, which is not a very smart decision when you're
You know what was hilarious?
have the opportunity to make millions of dollars.
Is, you know, Mike gets in there and
Dude,
if any of you listen to Impulsive, Mike talks so much mad crap about 6ix9ine because he snitched. And Mike used to be like hardcore into doing drugs and stuff. And he was like, I would have never snitched, and I didn't, because he was the only one. He did actually, didn't he get wrapped up in a drug sting? And he didn't.
yeah, but he also wasn't facing 40 fucking 8 years. So there's that. There's a big difference in that.
He was talking mad crap the whole time. He's like, I'd never snitched. If I saw him, I wouldn't do a podcast with thing. And just like you see, this dude comes up here, 6ix9ine accepts the podcast, and there he was, sitting in there, become friends with him. Just because Mike's just, I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about Mike.
I really don't either.
Mike's a fucking cockhead sometimes. Like, what the fuck is he even talking about? He wasn't a snitch. You don't know what you would have done in that situation. First of all,
Bro, let me get short.
the street code, like 6ix9ine said, the street code goes out the window when you're fucking my baby mama, you kidnap me, beat the fuck out of me, and extort me for money. There's no loyalty there. The street code's over. Of course I'm snitching on your bitch ass. I'm not doing time for you motherfuckers. I'm not going to be loyal to you if you're not loyal to me in return. Fuck you. I'll snitch on your bitch ass.
Dude, if somebody come up to me and was like, you're facing 3 years.
Oh, I'm out.
Like a canary. I'm like, oh, Zach Allen was over there. I saw him snort that line of fentanyl. I saw him do it, dude. He sold it to a 5-year-old.
Now we're getting into Bradley Martin territory.
Yeah,
Selling to young children. Bradley Martin, shame on you. You fucking dirty dog, you. Speaking of just Bradley Martin, that brings me on Neil. People are trying to cancel the fuck out of him. Is there a certain place where you get to in life where you're uncancelable? Is that even a word? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Nelt's uncancelable. I don't think they don't make money off YouTube, so if YouTube cancels them, they really don't give a fuck.
I think we got to start thinking about, like, in terms of the times we have now, is because right now cancel culture is really, really big. Like,
Yeah, we've actually seen it here in our hometown with the guy that works at Y96, one of my friends. We don't talk regularly or anything, but we used to play softball together. He's a super good guy. Josh Terry, you know him, the bearded bastard.
I know the bearded bastard.
Well, he worked at Y96, and when the protests went on in downtown Dublin, he got some information that was misleading from Antifa, that Antifa was going to be there. And basically all he did, he encouraged people to go down there and support our veterans and our police officers. That's all he did. Everybody can have opinion. Who gives a fuck? So basically they canceled him.
From Y96.
He got fired from Y96, but he's doing his own thing. It may be a blessing in disguise, Josh, and honestly.
Dude, here's the thing.
He's got a big platform. He's got a lot of followers.
I don't know if he listens to this podcast.
Nah, I'm sure he doesn't.
So, even if he doesn't, here's my advice. There's so many people that I know, especially like big podcasters now.
He's starting his own podcast, by the way, so I'll be listening. I'll be tuned in.
They were coming out and, you know, they were trying to get on with Hollywood. They were trying to do these sitcom shows. They were trying to do this. And every time they'd fail. Or something would happen that didn't get the role. Then they drop out. When they started taking off is when they drop out and do their own thing. With podcasting, you have no restrictions. When you're doing your own thing, you have no restrictions. When you don't rely on YouTube money, you have no restrictions.
Exactly. I think Nelt's uncancelable, dude. These fuckers have a cult following. They make all their money off their merch, and people are just going to buy their merch. I've bought several pieces of their merch. I got like 2 or 3 shirts, a flag. I like the Nelt Boys. I fuck with them.
Here's what they just have to do. And anybody who gets canceled, I promise you, if you do this, and because you look at, I don't know if any of y'all listen to the Fire and the Kid podcast. Brian Callen was accused of sexual assault 20 years prior. So 20 years ago, this alleged sexual assault happened. She's just now coming out now. Sponsors dropped him, everything. And so he does the Fire and the Kid with Brendan Schaub. Brendan has basically washed his hands up, even though there's no evidence to support this claim. This is where that if you don't want this to continue, you have to put money making aside and just come out, fight it, and continue doing your grind. Like that's what I mean. That's what you got to do to beat it. You can't just sit there and say, I mean, whatever you're canceled for. It can be something that you said in the past, something you did in the past, something that you're accused of doing or saying. You have to fight it. I mean, there's proof out there that people just say, all right, screw it. I'm just doing my own thing now. Screw the sponsors. Screw everybody. I'm doing my own thing, and they still make money.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of people that their fans know them better than most everybody because I mean they follow every second of their life.
Mm-hmm.
If your fans feel like you're not capable of doing something like that, which I think a lot of Brian Callen's close friends and fans do, think he's not capable of doing something like that. Continue to do your work, and your fans. If your fans support you, you will make money.
Yeah. Start Patreon or something. Make them fuckers pay for your podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, cancel culture is real. We've seen it here in Dublin. It's unfortunate. A man like Josh Terry lost his job. I love Josh Terry. I like listening to his radio show in the morning on Y96. Anytime he goes live on Facebook, I'm tuned in. But he's starting a new business, so y'all make sure to support him. He's going to help like local business advertising stuff through social media because he has such a big following across all the social media accounts. I don't know the number, but there's a bunch.
So did Y96 push this, or was it?
No, I'll tell you who pushed it. Okay, so he was supposed to be doing the games for Dublin High School this year, the football games. So I guess they had a board meeting, and there were some people that were pushing for him to not have that job anymore, which is fine. Josh understood that they're a school board, they want to distance themselves from that. But Y96 hired him. They looked at all his social media. They know he's patriotic. They know he supports our military and law enforcement, and they hired him anyway. Because he has such a big following on social media, he can bring people to the station. He has good ideas. This new idea with advertising on social media for small business is a fantastic idea. It helps not only him, but it also helps our local businesses here in Dublin, Cochrane, Middle Georgia area. So when Dublin fired him, I guess the school board pushed for him to be cut from state broadcasting too, which is they have nothing to do with each other, so I don't know exactly how it went down.
Well, and that's the dangerous thing about cancel culture is if one place does it, they won't settle for just your one job that you do there. They're going after everything you have. They're going after everything.
Well, I mean, Josh Terry's a good dude. If the people that were pushing for him to get fired sat down and talked with Josh Terry, they would understand this dude wasn't trying to start a fucking brawl or anything.
Yeah.
He's just that's what he stands for, and he's not gonna back down for what he stands for. I could say that.
Where has it become a crime where if I say I want to go down there, and there's people that are protesting the police department, they're protesting first responders. What's wrong with me saying, hey guys, I want to come down here and I want to support these guys because I think they keep us safe?
Well, he got some bad information, honestly.
Well,
and it's.
Say that too quickly. I would not. Okay, I'm not gonna say it on the podcast because like I said, I don't know for a fact. I'm trying to find out, but I've heard some interesting information over the past couple weeks that I have not been able to confirm. I've been trying to, but I can't get a definitive answer. But it will come. Just know. It might not have been bad information. That's just what I'm saying.
Well, Antifa didn't show up downtown. I can say that because I was there.
Well, they didn't, and I've heard rumors. The reason why, like I said, have not confirmed them, so I'm not even gonna say it. So it doesn't matter.
But either way, that's what ended up costing him his job, and I think it's bullshit. So I won't be listening to Y96 anymore.
I don't listen.
The only reason I even listen to him is because of Josh Terry. He's my friend, and he has interesting takes, man, and he's just a good dude. So I like listening to him.
That's what people want to hear now. People don't want to go to them in the morning and hear people talk about the drive at 5 or whatever they did in the morning time before. Like, I don't listen to Y96. They don't play country music anymore. I don't care to listen to Y96. And I mean, I don't listen to radio in general, so that's not just me saying I don't listen to Y96. But it is. If I wasn't already not listening to them, this would be a reason to boycott. Because everyone is giving in to this crowd.
That's just how it goes, man. That's unfortunately the world we live in today. But yeah, we got anything else you want to talk about?
Did you see? Do you know who Ruth Ginsburg is?
I seen. Is that the lady that died recently? And
She
I don't know much about her.
a Supreme Court justice, and she passed away. And this is what's causing so much rift. This makes the election a lot more interesting. This makes it really interesting, actually. For those of you who follow politics, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, the election's coming up. We have about, a little under 90 days.
It's November 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I don't know how many days. It's coming though.
The president, sitting president, whoever it is allowed to, or is the one who appoints new Supreme Court judges. Ruth Ginsburg was the one who flip-flopped the court where it was uneven. Now, most of your judges in the Supreme Court are conservative. We have an advantage. The big thing right now is that whoever is put on the court in her place will flip-flop it again. So if there's a conservative put on the court, there will be no more, hey, is this going to be decided? We have some good conservative judges on the court right now.
So how does one get appointed to do this job? Does the president pick it?
The president picks it, but it has to go through Congress. So they have to, which right now the Republicans own the Senate, so it would be fairly easy to get a confirmation. I do not know how much the House is involved. I cannot remember. I should, because of how delved into the Kavanaugh case I was in. But anyway, it's gonna be. This has made this a lot more interesting, and I mean, she was a bastard. That woman was a terrible person. So I put a post on Facebook, and I'll read it for you because it's right here.
I've seen it, but read it anyway.
And I mean, this is just how I felt because of the stuff everybody is out here making her a hero, and to a certain degree, being a female on the Supreme Court is a huge accomplishment. And Donald Trump has promised to replace her with a female. So, but I mean, I put on Facebook. It was a picture of her moments after she had died, and I said, "You sat back facilitating the murder of millions of unborn babies, bastardized our Constitution, and made it obvious that you had no love for our country's founding." As a Christian, I say, I hope you were right with your Maker. As an American, I say, good riddance. And I mean, that's true. She bastardized our Constitution. She did not take her role as a judge who is supposed to go by the Constitution. Every decision she makes is supposed to be constitutional, and they weren't. And so, yes, I do hope that she was right with her Maker. I'm not celebrating her death, but her death or her retirement was good for America because the woman was a piece of shit.
I can't comment because I know nothing about her. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not real political. I will, of course, vote for president. I'll vote for our local leadership positions.
That's awesome, dude.
But I don't really get into it as far as the Supreme Court, the House, the Senate, all that shit. I don't know a lot about it.
People don't realize how big. It's not just some people just come out every 4 years and they vote in the presidential election. It's more than that, guys. It's more than that. You've got to know on a state and even local. I mean, you've seen here in Dublin. Dublin put up a free speech zone. Like, what the hell is that? Did you see that on Facebook?
They probably shouldn't have labeled it a free speech zone.
I have no problem. I understand the premise of what they're doing.
Yeah, they probably could have labeled it a little better. I'm gonna be honest. Like, what the fuck?
What they're trying to do is make an area for
the protesters.
So that stuff
on both sides.
Because I mean, you look at the protests we're having. On either side is liable to get violent down there because I mean, there are people. Everybody's heated. It could go either way. They could be peaceful. They could not be peaceful. With everything that we've seen so far, there's been a lot that have not been peaceful. So I understand the premise of what they're doing, but don't put on on a sign that says this is a free speech zone. Like, no.
Yeah.
Every inch of public property is a free speech zone.
I don't know who made the signs, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're morons.
They couldn't have fucked it up more.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know how I feel about what they're doing protesting down there, or what they're protesting against. I like the fact that they can go down there and say what they feel. I do not agree with what they're protesting about. But do not tell Americans, hey, you got to go over here because this is your protest zone. And I don't think it was out of any, I don't think it was out of spite or out of like them trying to just get some. I think it was just terrible wording.
Yeah, I think from what I read, they're trying to keep people from the downtown area so the businesses can stay open and it doesn't get overpopulated down there. Because last time we did have a protest, all the businesses closed early. You lose that revenue, and it sucks for the businesses. But I do think I understand it for sure. You want the business to make their money, but you also want to make sure we have our right to protest as Americans. So
And you saw the businesses.
they just got to label it better. That's holy fuck.
There was a bunch of
Good
business
God.
owners that have businesses downtown that were adding the city of Dublin. Are y'all going to pay us for our afternoon? Because that was 5 hours of business.
I can tell you the answer to that. No.
And honestly, I've been, within this past like 8 months, I have been sorely disappointed in our local government. I really have.
Who in particular would you say?
I'm disappointed with our mayor. I'm disappointed with our city council. And I mean, because I used to not be a citizen of Dublin. I lived in Lawrence County. Now I live in the city of Dublin. And I promise you, these next coming elections, I'm going to make it known that I'm not happy with it. And y'all might get tired of it. This is my way of speaking out. So when I see something that I don't like, especially with the mandatory mask, nobody's enforcing it. But it's just the way that they cave into stuff. Like you don't look at statistics. You look at, okay, these are what these big cities are doing. Let's follow their lead. I don't live in a big city because I don't want to, because most of the time the mayors of big cities are morons. I want you, who we elected to be our mayor, who we elected or was elected by the mayor to become city council, however that goes, we want you to make your own decisions. What you think is best for Dublin. And so far right now, I don't think they've done that.
Yeah, I could see your point of view on that. Like I said, I really don't give a shit about the mask. I really don't give a shit about the Confederate monument downtown. I honestly, until the protest, didn't know that there was a Confederate monument downtown. That shows you how little I know about my own hometown. I could care less if they burn that bitch to the ground, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care. It doesn't bother me one way or another. They can leave it up. It's not going to affect me. They can burn it down. It's not going to affect me. But what I do like to see is there was a lot of constructive debates going on downtown, and there were civil debates. I know on social media a couple times you've seen, especially on my feed, you've seen some people getting a little emotional, but that was very limited. I'm going to tell you now. That was very limited. Most of the time there was some good constructive conversations going on. And some people, I think some eyes were open on both sides. Why do you support it? Why don't you support it? So I like that. So I'm proud of our community for the most part. We usually can rally around some shit, to be honest.
Oh, and I think that good conversation, clean conversation is never a problem.
Oh, no, never, for sure.
Never a problem. Now, when we get down there, because I was down there for a short period of time, but Tate definitely lasted longer than me down there.
I was pumping out fucking content for you guys, bro.
Because I was down there, it was hot, and then all these morons were yelling at each other, and I was like, I'm out.
It started out like that, but I was able, now the crowds were yelling back and forth for a majority of the time, but I was able to get down there. I went on both sides because I have friends that were on both sides. I have people that were on the side protesting the monument I went to school with, grew up. Those are my brothers. We played football together. We talked. I listened to them conversate with people from the other side. Very, very well informed people on both sides. But there were people yelling the whole time. It's unfortunate that one side just can't listen. If you don't yell, that fucking accomplishes nothing.
Honestly,
Makes you look like a dipshit.
I think that to solve this problem, let's take it to a vote. let's just go downtown, tell everybody, make sure, okay, we're going to come out and say, on November, on the ticket is going to be in the city of Dublin, whether we keep this statue downtown or not. And let the vote.
Yeah, let a vote. That's the easiest way to. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Let it ride. Because, I mean, that's the only thing that I don't think a small minority on either side should be able to constitute what happens in this town. And I think the vote is the best way to do it. And I think it would make things simpler. We wouldn't have to deal with these protests downtown because they would lay out, okay, this is how we're going to deal with this. We hear you have a problem with it, we hear you don't have a problem with it. We want to hear your voice, and this is how we're going to make our decision.
Seems fair to me. I mean, that's really the only fair way to do shit in America. We have the right to vote. We have a bunch of rights and a bunch of freedoms I think we take for granted in America. A lot of people don't realize how fortunate we are to live in America. We're not going to delve off onto that shit, though. It gets kind of deep. We've talked about police reform here several times. You know where I stand on it. You know where Josh stands on it. The justice system's fucked up. It's been fucked up for so long. There's so many innocent people in jail. And it's just unfortunate that our justice system is not growing as the country grows. You know what I mean? We're going, like, if you've seen most of the people that were out there yelling at each other during the protest or whatever, they were older generations. We grew up in a different time than they grew up. You have to realize how these people grew up. That some of them went to segregated schools, weren't brought up to respect people as human beings. Us, on the other hand, I grew up with several black friends, several just of any race, really, not just black. And I look at them as brothers. We went to war on Friday nights. We went to war to school every day trying to fucking buck on the teachers and shit, trying to get away with doing as little as possible. You guys know what I'm talking about. But it's just a different society now. We're growing as a society. Everybody, I think, is looked at as a human being, not by the color of their skin. And it's unfortunate that people were raised like that back in the old days. It really sucks because you're seeing that older generation is starting to fade out. And I think once they fade out, we're just going to keep progressing as society. I don't know of course, not all old people are like that. My grandparents that live in Fitzgerald are the sweetest people. They don't see color. They're beautiful people. I mean, just as nice as you can be. So,
well, honestly, I don't think from my observation, and this is just some conversation that I've had with my friends and the guys that we grow up with. I mean, it doesn't even matter their color. But we were talking the other day, and I feel like us in the South have moved in a better way than the people in the North did, really. Because you don't see this stuff. I mean, as far as when I was growing up, you don't really see this stuff going on. And you don't, so like you said, you had friendships, doesn't matter who it was or where they came from. So I think we're definitely trending in the right direction.
Yeah, and we're growing, but the thing that's, like I previously said, the thing that troubles me is there's some aspects of America that aren't growing. As we grow, we should be able to grow our justice system to be far better than it is. It's pretty bad right now, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just shitty. That's all I can say. Our prisons are more geared towards making people come back to prison, not be able to function once they get back to society, not be a productive member of society, than they are trying to rehabilitate the people that can be rehabilitated. And I think everybody to a certain extent can be rehabilitated. I think we fail a lot of people that with mental illness, with systematic injustices, that just they keep resuscitating back through that justice system.
I think we have to come to a point where we all are on the same side of what's wrong and what's right. Because there's been instances where there has been protests over things that were definitely wrong. Like these people definitely met the requirements to be subdued by the law. And whenever just like the Jacob Blake case, we found out more and more of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Met the requirements, and yet you still had protests.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think most of the protests went on before they get all the information. People are so quick to react emotionally on both sides.
There has been
there's
been some NFL NFL players who were formerly wearing his name and a couple other people's names on their helmet that have tore the stickers off because they look into the case and they're like, this is not something I want to support. I do want to support police reform. I do want to support.
I'm one of the biggest police reform and justice reform people you'll ever talk to. I'll tell you it's shitty.
I'm not necessarily talking about myself. I'm talking about those NFL guys who they really do believe in this cause, but then they see what people are protesting behind and they start actually doing research. There was a couple of players for the Saints who did not wear the names on their helmet, and when they were asked why, they said, I looked into the situation and I don't think this is something I need to be supporting. Do they still support police reform? Yes, they still support police reform. But these guys looked into it, and what they were protesting or who they were protesting for just didn't sit right with them.
And that's fine. That's how I would encourage people to take these situations on. Do it on a case-by-case basis. Every time a cop kills a black man, just for instance, a black man, doesn't mean it was cold-blooded murder. Just use it. Same thing the other way. If a cop kills an unarmed black man, doesn't mean the black man was a criminal. I don't give a fuck about his past. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Unless, I mean, of course, if it has something directly to do with the case, then yes.
It does play into it.
Yeah, like the Jacob Blake one, it did. But I don't. Not every time they kill an unarmed black man is it justified. I'll say that 100%. But you got to look at it the other way, too. Every time they do kill an unarmed black man, it's not murder either. Go case by case. It's okay to be for Black Lives Matter, for social, justice. For justice. Just for justice being served, for the right. Just be what's right. Morally, what's right. You can be for that. And that's how I am. Of course, I support the police. I also support Black Lives Matter because I can't go and just say all people that are with Black Lives Matter are pieces of shit. I can't do that because I know some people here in Dublin that are my brothers I grew up with that support Black Lives Matter, and I can get behind that. I can get behind them because I know their intentions and I know their heart is in the right place. Some people with every organization are fucked up.
Yeah, and a lot of them, okay, I do the organization as a whole of Black Lives Matter, I do not support because they're leaders. I know who their leaders are. Their leaders are self-proclaimed trained Marxists. And I think that what they're doing is they're hiding behind a good cause and a cause that says, hey, we would like to see better training in the police departments. I mean, I think nobody can argue with that.
Fuck no, dude, a cop can go to an academy, have no background in criminal justice, no schooling, go to an academy for 6 weeks, and then they have a firearm and they're on the roads. No, it can't be that easy. But it does reflect the pay. The pay for a police officer is so severely underpaid. You're not going to get people that paid outstanding or took out loans to go to school to do. You can't pay it back. We need to pay our police officers better. They're a very important part of America as a whole. They preserve and protect us. They're supposed to be highly trained, know the steps of use of force, and a lot of them just don't.
I think that's 100%. If we throw money, and y'all know me as a conservative, I do not like the government using our money because I think we're already overtaxed. I think this is something worth putting money towards.
I'll pay if y'all want to take out an extra percent of tax, 1%, and put it towards police for America.
They already take out a 1% for us.
I'll sign the dotted line, buddy, because we've got to have it, dude. It's something we got to have.
It definitely comes from somewhere. These cucks in the government, they have their money.
Well, I'm just saying,
Deep in the ballot, it's probably rolling.
1% would be like, I don't know, wouldn't even be that much. I wouldn't even miss it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. If we can get our police officers better trained, better money that they deserve, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, okay.
It helps everybody
I'm
out.
behind police reform. I'm not behind Black Lives Matter because I know who runs it.
Well, the reason I say I get behind Black Lives Matter is because the people that run it aren't talking to these guys in Dublin.
You're behind the idea.
I'm behind the idea and the movement of Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter. I mean, that's pretty obvious. A lot of people...
That's been obvious for a long time.
I think people that counter Black Lives Matter with All Lives Matter, I think you're saying the same shit. You're saying all lives matter. What's included in all lives matter? Black lives matter. They're saying Black lives matter. They're not saying all lives don't matter. You see what I'm saying? You're saying the same shit. You're just saying it a different way. Tomato, tomato.
It really just depends on what fraction of the spectrum you're on, because there are some people in Black Lives Matter that don't think so, but there are a lot of them who think.
Well, there's people.
But when we were downtown, me and Tate were downtown in this thing, and they started arguing. The guy, when they were doing the thing, the guy across the street with the bullhorn started saying Black Lives Matter, and then one of the guys across the street, like on the Confederate monument side, started saying White Lives Matter. And bro, that's when I dipped out because the camera started swinging. I said, "Put the burners on, dude. I wasn't about to be seen over there." I mean, it's kind of I can be down with the comeback of all lives matter, but it's
the same thing. Black lives.
I'm not going to sit there and be around when somebody's like, "Oh yeah, what that sounds very Klans-like to me."
I agree, dude. What I'm saying is,
it's not a way to have a good construction. Either side, yelling Black Lives Matter, yelling all lives matter, or White Lives Matter, is not a good constructive conversation.
Well, in my opinion, like I said, I was down there on the ground doing the footwork live until my phone kept overheating. What I will say is, when I was down there and the constructive conversations I was hearing, it seemed like both sides wanted the same shit. You're letting wordage and verbiage get in the way of fucking the big picture. I'm not offended by somebody saying Black Lives Matter. I agree. Black lives do matter. My friends that are black and me, our life means the same thing. We're both humans. Our lives mean the same thing. So I 100% agree with that.
I think we need to ditch the organizations, because I mean that's kind of putting sides to things. Don't you agree? Like that.
And that's just how America is, dude. We're letting, like I said, wordage and verbiage get in the way of that. We agree on this shit. Yo, we all think Black lives. I won't say that all, because there are some fucking Klansmen and white supremacists still out there for some ungodly known reason that think white people are superior. But we all believe, for the most part, America, I think we believe the same thing. We want to see innocent people stop getting killed by the cops. We want to see the cops that do kill people and murder people go to jail. And we want to see cops that are doing their duty and have to shoot somebody be free to go back to their job and make a living for their family. I think we can all get behind that. So, I mean, I don't think that's even up for debate. I think that's how it should be. But we're letting wordage and verbiage in the fucking left and the right, politics get involved, and it's a fucking disaster.
I think you just need to watch when you get behind a movement, you need to watch who's running it. And that's within any movement. I mean, that's within any thing you get involved in. You need to know who your leaders are. And like I said earlier, the reason I cannot get behind that movement is because I know who the leaders are. I know that both of those females who have started Black Lives Matter are Marxists. And their agenda, they don't care about Black lives. They care about promoting socialism, and it's just not something I'm okay with.
I won't say I'm behind the organization because of the points you made, but I'm behind the movement of.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with you
Yeah.
or say that they're against it.
I don't know enough about the organization. I have to do my own research,
But I've also done research on actual police shootings, and this has not been from. It was not from CNN. It was not from Fox. This was from actual websites that just do their whole job is doing statistics. And if you look into the numbers, police shootings are not that big of an issue in the United States. You have over 350 million interactions with police every year.
Yeah.
It's less than 1,000 police shootings.
Right, and I agree it's not as big an issue as it's led to believe on media, but I would like to see that number get down as low as possible. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a fraction.
I understand that, but I want it even smaller than that. If we can get better training, better, and just not even just shootings, just the justice system is so fucked up. You can go to prison right now in Georgia for something that is legal as alcohol in fucking Colorado. Why is that? Why? People are labeled felons for fucking having weed on them. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
The only reason I do disagree with that is because I think has the right, their constitutional right. This is the way that they were set up, that the country was set up. That every state has the right to choose what their own laws are.
Right, but should somebody not be able to work, not have a job, not be able to own a firearm because they smoke pot? I don't think so.
And like I said, I'm not necessarily saying I agree with it, but I like the premise that every state has a choice.
Right. I mean, the death penalty would be a good example.
California has a choice to make pot legal. If they feel like that's something that they need to do in their state, that's fine. And
yeah, but I think we need to do.
Against marijuana.
I mean, make it a misdemeanor. Give them a ticket if it's illegal. It's pot, bro. It's not fucking methamphetamine.
Depending on the amount that you have, it is a misdemeanor.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't think it should be like. I don't know. I don't even smoke weed. I've never smoked weed, by the way, guys. But why are people sitting in prison? We've got overcrowded prison system as it is. We're putting people in this situation to get used to the fucking jail life. When they get out, that's all they know for a fucking plant. That I can't get behind it. I'm sorry. I'm big on let's just legalize it. Why not? I mean, it's not any worse than alcohol. It's probably better for you than alcohol from the research I've done. It's better for you than smoking cigarettes. It's probably better for you than this shit I'm smoking. It's proven. Yeah. Everybody benefits from it. It's proven to be, its medicinal uses are proven. It helps with anxiety. It helps with pain tolerance. It helps with inflammation.
And they can also pay my road with the taxes they get off of it.
Exactly. But yeah, you fuckers are locking people up for, I mean, I've heard of people getting locked up for personal use. I mean, it's not a felony, of course, but taking somebody to jail for that.
I can't even drive down my road without spilling my coffee because you cuckolds won't pay my road.
Well, get fucked, Dodo. How about that?
I'm done.
All right. Well, I think we're over an hour already. Got carried away a little bit. Had a good episode though.
Yeah.
We love you guys. I'm glad to be back. We're not gonna miss a week now. We're gonna try to pump out 2 this week, 2 every week really. So, shout out to Zach Allen. Thank you for coming by. I'm sure you're gonna do a fantastic job. It's really simple. We just had an editor that he's got school going on and shit. I like Will a lot. Maybe one day he can rejoin the force. So, anyway, all right. We appreciate y'all.
Platforms, Instagram, Taking Josh in the Morning, Twitter, TNJ in the AM. We're gonna start trying to work on, like Tate said, Will just had a lot of stuff on his plate with school and stuff like that. So, he was the one who shout out to Will for setting up all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we're gonna. I think last I checked, the only thing that actually has contents on it is our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So, even if I have to do it myself, we're gonna try to start chopping it up. And obviously, I'm not gonna be able to do the editing because I'm a moron. But
we're gonna do the editing. You could probably just go on YouTube and screen record and put some shit on Instagram.
Get our Instagram account and try to get our Twitter account and get that stuff rolling. But anyway,
Don't be tweeting no dumb shit now.
Go out.
Fucking getting us canceled, yeah.
Go out and attack the week, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna be hearing this Monday morning. Hopefully the week will fly by and you will be
Ready for some college football, baby, on Saturday.
Sitting on your couch, maybe with a cold beer.
Go Gators.
Easy, Snake.
Facts, y'all see it.
I don't enjoy doing
You're a Gator fan?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm outnumbered now, boys.
Get fucked, buddy. Well, when Zach joins us, hopefully Wednesday, the numbers will be even.
Numbers will be even. So,
Because Zach's a big Georgia fan.
guys, tune in.
Hey, but Zach's a realist. He'll tell you how it fucking is. He's not one of them blind Georgia fans.
I'm not either.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
I'll sit here and tell you, dude, people.
There's Florida fans like that. There's fans like that at every fan base.
Alabama's the worst about it.
Well, that might just be what you see. I see Florida State fans, and they're pretty fucking bad, dude. Preseason, these fuckers were back, bro. These fuckers just got beat by the Georgia Institute of Technology at home. That's a hot take, boys. That's fucking... I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, my God. All right. Let's get out of here. Peace. Y'all have a good day. Peace.